What's going on, everybody? Top 10 Pokemon back, and today I would like to share with you all my personal collection of Neo Genesis First Edition Holo cards. Now, Neo Genesis is one of my two all-time favorite sets. I'm always crossed between Neo Genesis and Neo Revelation. So today we're going to go over my complete First Edition Holo set from Neo Genesis. We're going to talk about the population, the value of each card, and just appreciate the artwork for what it is. Before I get started, please like and subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. You don't know how much I appreciate it. So without further ado, let's get right into it with our first card from Neo Genesis. Now, Neo Genesis was the first set to feature the second generation of Pokemon, the Johto Pokemon, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, I do believe that's what region they're from. So let's get started here with this here, First Edition Ampharos. Now, this is one of the higher population holos from the set, with a PSA 10 population of about 163. I think it's easier card to grade because the holo in the background is so dark and can hide a lot of scratches and scuffs, although I do not see any scratches and scuffs on this card. Looks very nice in the front there. The back, all the edges look very nice. It's slightly shifted to the right, but obviously not enough to warrant a PSA 9 or anything like that. So yep, got a PSA 10 Ampharos here. Now, the value of this card, I think I last seen one go in auction for about $821. So not too bad for one of the higher pop holos from this set. Up next, we have the Azumarill. Now, this is a very low population card of only 30 PSA 10 copies in the world. As you can see right here, I have a PSA 9. I think it's a lot to do with the holofoil is very easily scratched and scuffed on this one because there's a lot of it. If you look at the back of this one actually looks very good. A lot of Neo Genesis cards, especially the first edition holos, the back is usually not the problem. It's usually the front, whether it's print lines or scratches on the holo. That's usually where the problem lies in terms of grading. But anyway, a PSA 10 copy of this card will cost you about $2,200. And that is a prime example of scarcity in this card. You really can't find it in a PSA 10, so when it does come around, it fetches that very high price. Alright, next card up, we have the Blossom First Edition PSA 10 here. Now, there are 109 PSA 10 copies of this card. I love the artwork. I love the fact that there's two of them there dancing around. Very pretty holofoil. A PSA 10 of this card was about $355, so a fairly inexpensive card to get, at least as of right now. The back of this looks perfect, so it's no wonder it got the PSA 10. So yeah, Blossom First Edition. Moving on. All right, up next we have one of the big three for this set. As you know, the big three for this set are the Feraligatr, Typhlosion, and the Meganium. So we have the very first Feraligatr here. This is the number 4, and this one is First Edition Gem Mint 10. And there are 66 PSA 10 copies in the world. This is not the more scarce Feraligatr. This one looks very nice in the back, very perfectly centered. So a PSA 10 copy of this will run you about $2,100. So yeah, very nice. I love to have this. I would like to have each of the 3 main cards in the set, the 3 main starters in a PSA 10 as my goal. So yeah, there's the first Feraligatr. And the second Feraligatr here, this is the Feraligatr number 5, and the much more difficult card to grade. There are only 18 PSA 10 copies of this card in the world. Very, very hard to get a hold of. I, of course, have the PSA 9. Maybe someday we'll get the PSA 10. But I really couldn't find any data on the value of a PSA 10 because you just don't see them. I could not find the last PSA 10 price, but a PSA 9 will cost you about $662 for this card. Alright, up next we have the Heracross, another extremely low population PSA 10 card, as there are only 15 PSA 10 examples of this card, and you can see clear as day why, the immense amount of holo there to be scratched. I love it. I think there's a pincer on the other side. He's getting ready to battle. I do love this artwork. But yeah, this one's very nice. A PSA 10 I could not find the price of. Could not find a recent sale of the PSA 10, much like the Feraligatr, but I did see a recent sale for a PSA 9 go for about $650 for this card. And the reason that's so high is because, like I said, the PSA 10 copies are very, very hard to come by, so the PSA 9s are usually a little bit more expensive because of that. Up next, we have the first edition Jumpluff. There are only 30 PSA 10 copies of this available. And you know what? I really think that this is a PSA 10 potential. I've looked at the holo so much in this card. There is no lines, no print, nothing. The centering looks great in the front. The edges are pristine on the back. So I might actually bust this. I've been contemplating whether or not to bust this case open and send this card in to get the PSA 10. I don't know. I think I will eventually, because there's only 30 PSA 10, so it would be worth my while if that did in fact get a PSA 10. But a PSA 10 copy of this card will run you about $1,300 for the Jumpluff First Edition Holo. Alright, up next we have this first edition Kingdra. This is the Gem Mint 10 example. There are only 67 PSA 10 copies of Kingdra here in PSA 10. And a PSA 10 copy will cost you about $800. So I picked this up way back in the day. It's a nice card. Even got a nice little swirl on the side there. And it is definitely in PSA 10 condition. So the Unlimited Kingdra Holo was the one that come in the Cold Fusion theme deck. And I think the Jumpluff came in the Hotfoot theme deck, both in their unlimited forms. But yep, about $800 for a PSA 10 Kingdra. Alright, here is the big boy right here, Lugia First Edition, and as you can see, I got the PSA 8. So I do want to make it my goal to get a PSA 9 of this card. It's really come up in value, as you all know, but there are only 41 PSA 10 copies of this card. And there's a very notorious sale of this card in PSA 10 going for $129,000. Yes, you heard me right. In a PWCC auction in the past month, this card had reached that price. So it's a very difficult card to grade because it's the colorless. You can see the print line without me even having to move it around very much. I did manage to nab a PSA 8 before it got way out of hand. But this is the Charizard of the Neo series, no doubt. And it is now one of the most expensive set cards from the vintage era. First edition Lugia. Up next, we have a Meganium, one of two Meganiums in the set. This is the number 10 and the much more difficult card to obtain in PSA 10 than the other version. This is a Mint 9. There are only 17 PSA 10 Meganiums in the world. And the last auction price that I've seen this go for was way back when. I had to look at my old eBay Auctions of the Week video to look up this value, but it went for $4,000 for a PSA 10. And yeah, this is such a low pop card here. That's pretty much it. I would like to get the this one or the next Meganium in a PSA 10. Speaking of which, here it is, the Meganium number 11. I actually sent this one out to be graded, and I was so sure it was going to come back as a PSA 10. So you look at it, trust me, that holo is flawless. I got the back. Take a look at the back. Everything is so nice. I mean, I don't know if maybe they're counting. That's almost like a little bit of extra cardboard on there, but I really wouldn't say that's a nick or whitening. Maybe that's what they counted. I don't know, but I felt like this was a PSA 10 quality, but they gave it the 9. There are 59 PSA 10 copies of this card, and a PSA 10 example will cost you about $1,525. So that's pretty obtainable. I think it'd be much easier for me to get this card in a PSA 10 than the other Meganium, but maybe, who knows, maybe I'll bust this one open along with the Jumpluff and send it in for another regrade. But yep, first edition Meganium. Up next, we have another low pop PSA 10 card in Pichu. There are only 24 PSA 10 examples of this card, and it is such a beautiful holofoil. Just the blue, the red, the orange, the yellow, all meshes so well together. I don't know the exact cost of a PSA 10 for this because I have not seen any sales come through, but I know a PSA 9 will run you about $500 for this card, so it's pretty expensive. But yeah, it's such a low population card, I could not find the value of the PSA 10s, but it is very difficult. This is a very difficult set to grade entirely PSA 10. Now, whoever has that, all these hauls in PSA 10, bravo, you're rich. Here we have a first edition Skarmory. This one here is a Mint 9. There are only 40 PSA 10 first edition Skarmories available. And the PSA 10 copy will cost you about $1,250. I'm surprised there's not more of these. There's only 40 because a majority of the holo is like black. You know, the only holo is this silver going through, but it must be very easily scratched or something. I don't know. Yeah, I think this one got the 9 because of the centering. It's a little bit off center on the back there and a little bit on the front. Well, maybe not so much on the front, but yeah. PSA 9 Skarmory. I love this card. I love that light beaming through him. Excellent, excellent Pokemon. Here we have one of my favorite, if not my favorite card from this set, and that is the Slowking. This is the first time we see Slowking in the English TCG. This is a Mint 9 first edition. A PSA 10 Slowking. There are only 10 copies in the world, and I have not seen a sale go through in the past couple years. So I do not know what a PSA 10 of this would cost. Probably a ton of money, but a PSA 9 run you about $560, I do believe. I've seen the last auction go through. So yeah, this is one of those cards, kind of like the Sabrina's Gengar, where he's off to the side and there's all that holofoil and it's so easy to be scratched. I cannot see any scratches or scuffs right now. Looking at it, maybe it was on the back. You know, the back looks very nice too. All the backs of these cards look great. Like I said earlier, it's all about the holo for these cards. So PSA 9 Slowking for the win. All right, up next we have the second highest PSA 10 populated card from this set, as far as the holos go, and that is the Steelix first edition. There are 159 PSA 10 copies of this. It's a much easier card to grade because it's so dark in the background there. I actually sent one of these out to be graded for my very first PSA submission, and it come back a 9. I don't know why. It was such a strong 10, but that's okay. I sold it. I have this 10 here, and I'm okay with that. But a PSA 10 copy of this, I think last went for about $490. So another pretty inexpensive holo here from Neo Genesis in Steelix. All right, up next we have the always complicated to name Togetic, or Togetic, or Togetic. I don't know, take your pick. I always call it Togetic. It just rolled off the tongue a little easier. This one is a PSA 10. There are 99 copies of a PSA 10 of this card, and a PSA 10 will run you about $921. So pretty pricey PSA 10 here. This is the evolution of Togepi, and I picked this. This is one of my very first holo pickups I got several years ago. It's got the old label, one of the only cards that have the older PSA label, but still, nonetheless, a beautiful card with a beautiful background. All right, up next we have the Typhlosion 17, the notorious Typhlosion 17, that a PSA 10 has a PSA 10 population of about 9. Yeah, there's only 9 PSA 10 examples of this card. Very hard card to grade, and the PSA 10 of this card is super expensive. We had one auction go through for about $5,000, and then I saw a sale right before that go for about $6,500 in a PWCC auction for a PSA 9. So who knows how much a PSA 10 goes for nowadays. I think the last one was paid for by TCA Gaming. He paid $10,000 for his, and Lord knows how much it's worth now. But yeah, this is the very, very sought after card. When you're opening up a pack, you want to either hit this guy or the Lugia. So I'm happy to have this in the collection because even the PSA 9 prices are getting very carried away for this card. All right, the second Typhlosion, number 18 here. I do have this one in PSA 10. There are 88 PSA 10 examples of this card, and it will cost you about $3,045 to get a copy. So not the Typhlosion you want to pull, but you're certainly not upset if you do. Yeah, so I have this and a Feraligatr, the Feraligatr number 4 in PSA 10. So I just need to nab a Meganium in PSA 10, and I'll have a nice little trio set there. And the last card of the holo set for Neo Genesis is the Metal Energy, and yes, I only have it in a 9 because PSA 10s are very scarce. There's only 17 PSA 10 copies of this card, and the cost of a PSA 10 is about $2,850. Very, very difficult card to grade because there's just so much to be scratched. But this one is perfectly centered. The back looks excellent, so there must be an issue in the front here. Must be a print line going through. I think I see possibly one there. I'm not sure. But yeah, very low pop card here in the first energy of the Neo series, Metal Energy. All right, folks, that's all I got for you. What do you think of my collection? The only thing I'd like to improve on for my collection would be to get a PSA 10 first edition Meganium and perhaps upgrade from the PSA 8 to the PSA 9 Lugia. And those are no small endeavors, but it's a goal of mine to do maybe this year. So please like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you thought about the collection and the set in general, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much.